it's a blood moon out there. Okay? And as these blood moons and all these different full moons approach us, it's imperative that we like to bridge the connection between the outerverse and the innerverse, which is the universe. We like to bridge the connection between what's happening on the outside and what's happening on the inside. So I'm here delivering us, okay, a message from that universe, that is, letting us know what's happening on the inside of us. Now, I had a lot of people, okay, share with me they zodiac signs, and I appreciate that. All the sun signs that I done received. Now, some people went on ahead and sent me sent me the whole natal chart, and that's okay. We like y'all. I did say, depending on how much information I get, you may get yours personal, but sometimes I be overzealous. I ain't gonna say I lied, but I'm gonna say I was overzealous. I didn't expect the input that I received. I did say subscribe, and you did that. And I did say send me some personal information, and you did that too. Okay? But like I said, I was overzealous. The maid ain't been here. My sister's been off for the last year or so. And yeah, we hiring. I be talking like the whole staff is here. Like algorithm working the way it's supposed to be. But I be forgetting that, sometimes I can be quite overzealous. I say. Nevertheless, I'm gonna be going into oh my God, this is mushroom coffee if y'all wondering what that is. Yeah, we love our tonics. I'm going to be going into our zodiac introspections, I like to call it, sharing with us how this full moon, which is a sturgeon moon, which is also a blood moon, which is also a partial lunar eclipse, how this will affect us, all of us, that is. So yeah, I had to pull out the notebook. I had to pull out the nice notebook too. This was a gift too. Shout out to one of my great students for always giving me something to write on. Okay? Now, those of you that's following me on social platforms, okay, I done told those of us in the meta universe where I would begin, and I'm beginning in Libra. Is that okay? Okay? And for the Libra, you should know how this full moon will affect you. Y'all can start the clipping that now. If you a Libra out there, you should know how the full moon is going to affect you. This sturgeon moon, this blood moon. Okay? Most importantly, this is going to affect you in the areas of routine. Okay? In the areas of routine. Why? Because those scales represents balance and chaos. Okay? And most often, your balance and your chaos is going to have a lot to do with your routines, your traditions, and your rituals. Okay? We are reestablishing these habits because we focusing on preserving our energy. Whenever we got to relook at the way we doing things, we focused on preserving our energy. Okay? Self-preservation is most important, Libra. Okay? A lot of times y'all giving a lot of energy towards some of your favorite places over here in the heart. Okay, how we get to that heart? We have to get to that heart through the mind. So you spend a lot of times in your mind, okay, leading to your emotions, and all the times that don't lead you to a victory. I know you're probably trying to figure out how else am I going to get to a victory? Well, we need to find a balance. We need to also incorporate that physical, some action, some self-preservation. And the best way to preserve yourself is to be walking in passion and purpose. Okay? That leads us into the Scorpio. Now, Scorpio, this full moon in Sturgeon, this full Sturgeon moon, okay, that is also giving birth to the harvest, identifying that the summer is ending and the fall finna begin. Okay? This should be focused on us manifesting, our manifesting energy. Okay? Because we don't need the chaos. Okay? We need the balance that comes from picking up and putting down the right things, that is. That comes from self-preservation as well. That comes from deciding where we place our energy and our attention. And we need to be placing our energy into the places that has been stagnant. Okay? That has been in the corners of our hearts. We need to establish creative vision and also be creative about our vision. And understand that if we feel ourselves a distance from purpose, it's because we also a distance from passion. The distance from purpose is the result of the distance from passion. Can I get a witness? How many of us sometimes feel like we create a distance between us and our passions because we working too much, because we living too much for other people and not enough for ourselves? Okay, so let's go ahead and tighten up. Okay, Scorpio, put on them aura glasses and go ahead and see the vision. Okay, aura glasses for sale too. Okay, this brings us over here to the Sagittarius. Now, how you doing, Sagittarius? Okay, how you doing, Sagittarius? Yeah, I appreciate you. Now, the Sagittarius is important. The Sagittarius is one of the only ones who came to the living equation with a weapon. Shout out to the Sagittarius if you know any of the Sagittarius. So Sagittarius, I'm finna help you this full moon, okay? That is also a sturgeon moon, that is also a blood moon. And the way this full blood moon will affect the Sagittarius is this way. There's going to be some major endings. A lot of closing of doors and a lot of closings of chapters. Why? Because there is a structure shift. When we start shifting in our structures, we start changing things. A lot of things start changing. Our social environment, okay, our physical environment, our career placements and how we view ourselves, okay? We need to revisit what we aiming at. You know, the Sagittarius is an archer, and we aiming at something. We need to revisit what we've been aiming at. We need to also put on our aura glasses and make sure that we're not missing the mark or the target, that is. Okay, because we're supposed to be aiming towards our longevity. Okay, the longevity of first our passions and our purpose. But for some of us, we first need to accept this structure shift. Things are shifting around you, and it may even be some shifty energy around you. Okay, so yes, let's focus on this structure shift. Let's focus on re-navigating our energy, okay, and making sure we have our purpose within our targets. That makes sense, Sagittarius? Okay, because y'all some strong energies now. We need y'all. Okay, we need y'all exactly where y'all need to be. Okay, which is going to be leading us towards the Capricorn. And the Capricorn during this blood moon in Sturgeon, okay, is definitely shedding some outdated mindsets and belief. Okay, the Capricorn will be viewing themselves different. Okay, their communication is changing. See, when you start communicating with yourself different, you start communicating with others different. And once this conversation change, you have to begin shedding these old mindsets and these old mental habits. Okay? Some of us have mental habits that don't bring us to a victory. Some of us have mental habits that just keep us wandering and don't keep us curious. Remember, the Capricorn, okay, half fish and half land animal. I believe it's a bull, okay, or a ram. Whatever the case may be, this half animal, ram that is, this half animal, okay, can sometimes be a wanderer. The ram being a goat, and sometimes this wanderer can just wander up into the alleys in the mind. Sometimes we can go up the dark rabbit holes of our mind. And this is how we are getting away from curiosity, because when you keep wandering, you convince yourself that you know what's finna happen. You convince yourself that you already have the answers. You convince yourself, okay, that this way could and possibly be the right way, and you get too far away from the environment questioning you, or you questioning your environment. So a lot of times you Capricorns like to separate yourselves and only come around people, okay, when you need them. So we ain't doing that. We changing our inner conversation on to curiosity. Curiosity is different. Curiosity finna have me ask questions and allow questions. Ask questions and allow questions. But for me to ask questions and allow questions, there need to be people around. People that are receptive, okay, of my curious energy. Okay, Capricorn? So we're going to be loving ourselves different by changing our inner conversation. And this inner conversation is going to change our perception. Okay? So that is going to lead us to shedding, okay, some mindsets and some beliefs. And we got to shed these mindsets and beliefs now, don't we? The year finna end with your energy and begin in Aquarius. Okay? What leads us to the Aquarius now. And in Aquarius, they having certain revelations. Shout out to the Aquarius. Okay? If you're in Aquarius, the full blood moon is going to affect you differently than it is the rest of us. But we all have a lot of these things in common. Okay? So the full blood moon, okay, will affect the Aquarius in this ways. You finna have some revelations. Yeah, you finna have some revelations. Some revelations on what really matters. Sometimes we get too far removed from what really matters in life. Okay? And when you put things that matter in perspective, this changed your core values. This changed the way you view yourself on a career level. Okay? The way you are visiting your purpose and how you are demonstrating and delivering your purpose and your value unto the people around you, unto yourself, unto your household, and unto the marketplace. So when all these things are questioned and revisited, finances change. When core values change, finances change. So the Aquariuses are experiencing a change in finance. And this ain't never a bad thing. Don't matter if it go up or it go down. It's never a bad thing when there's a change in finance, because when there's a change in finance, there's a change in you. When there's a change in you, it should always lead unto your evolution. I say. Yeah, can I get a witness? Yeah, the Aquarius, their vibration should be on let's get rich. They should be enriching themselves mentally, spiritually, and physically. Okay? Especially if we are having revolutions that lead to us shifting our core values, that is. You know, your core values matter. What really matters to your life, how you really want to hold relationships, what matters within these relationships. Okay, how do you determine value, and then do you deliver or facilitate value? How do you create a value environment in and around you? Core values. Ashe? So yeah, let's promote that revelation in us Aquarius. And this leads us to our Pisces. Shout out to the Pisces if you done made it here. You know, the Pisces is a rather wet sign. I'm going to say that respectfully to their emotions. They like to swim, okay, in the bottomless pits of their emotions sometimes. And that's okay. We need you swimming in those emotions, because those emotions lead for you to be sensitive. In fact, those senses lead for you to be emotional. And we need for you to be emotional, because in a world where they have desensitized humans, we need the most emotional people that we can have, right? That would also be the most sensitive people we can have, but with balance. And what's going to balance? Okay, what's going to balance those emotions? That mind. Your mind going to balance those emotions, so that way you ain't overly emotional, or you're not under emotional. Some people are reserved. Some people ain't using those emotions. This relates to the Pisces. And for some Pisces, during this full blood moon, okay, that is also a sturgeon moon, we may be experiencing an identity shift as we aim to step into our authentic self. Now for us Pisces, sometimes it's difficult for us to be our authentic self, because sometimes, and most times, we just are emotional self. Sometimes we are just our sensitive self. And no, all the times, your emotions and your senses don't lead to your authentic self. You need your mind to bring about that balance in that chaotic environment within you. If it's only emotions, it's chaos. If it's only your senses, it's finna be chaos. Where will the organization of this information, where will it happen at? You see, your senses is sending you information on the outside onto the inside. Okay? The emotions is supposed to be that boundary or that barrier that they go through. Okay? To give us a certain level of spiritual wisdom. Okay? But the organization of all that information supposed to happen in the mind. I hope I ain't missing. I hope you picking up what I'm putting down. Okay? So we are revisiting our authentic self and asking, are we truly being our authentic self? I know I am. Matter of fact, my authentic self said this. I know I'm is. I know I'm is. Okay? Nevertheless, welcome to the party, Pisces. This is going to lead us on to our Aries. Now our Aries, another beautiful sign. Okay? The Aries is going to be, first and foremost, if you're an Aries and if you're experiencing this full blood moon, okay, you should hear what I'm about to say next. Now, you are uncovering some hidden truths. Okay? Hidden blockages, to be specific. Blockages. Okay? These blockages have been preventing you from closing chapters. Okay? Different chapters in your life. Some of these have been painful chapters. Okay? And these blockages have been leading you to sometimes questioning yourself. You've been questioning yourself and you haven't been questioning enough of your environment. Yes, you should question yourself and see what part you have played. You are already responsible. You are already accountable. But now we need to start shifting the questioning to the outside for us to see the full answer. Let's question these people we've been so loyal to. Let's question where we've been sending all of this energy to. Let's have the questions and uncover the blockages that have been happening in us, Aries. Okay? Let's uncover these blockages so we can move forward and have fluid energy and have fluid information. For the information to be fluid, okay, we're gonna have to be honest with ourselves. And being honest doesn't mean you're just questioning yourself. You're gonna have to also question those around you. Even if they don't give you the answer, you're going to have to answer for them in the inside of you. See, people are answering in different ways. Matter of fact, people already done gave you the answer. If you ever got a question if somebody loves you, you already know the answer. If you ever got a question if they care about you, then you already know the answer. Correct? Have faith in your own self. Accept. That's what you finna do to close these chapters, to close this blockages. You finna accept. Okay? Accept. Because with us keeping these opportunities for people to reach us on an energetic level, okay, it's creating blockages. People got too much access to us. They got far too much access to us. We closing these doors. We closing these chapters. Eyes shut. Let me get eyes shut. Yeah. Nevertheless, it's going to lead us to these Tauruses. Now, Tauruses, y'all already earth signs. We like y'all. We like it. You can always ride a Taurus. You can ride a Taurus. Okay? But they can't always ride you. You pay attention to that, Taurus. They can always ride you, but you can't always ride them. Okay? So if you're a Taurus and you're experiencing the times that we in a day, okay? If you're a Taurus, then you should understand how this blood moon is affecting you as well. First off, you need to know that they can all ride you, but you can't ride all of them. Okay? They can all get on your back, okay? But not a lot of times they won't be there to carry you. So the statement is, stop having everybody back. First, go ahead and have your back. Have your front too. And also shake some of those energies off your back. You got too many energies on your back. They've been riding you like they had a zoo. They've been riding you like they had a pony show. Okay? Why is it? Because you're community oriented. And in this season, community matters to the Taurus. Yeah, community matters. And you shaking up your circles. You shaking up these social circles. And it's also time for you to start weeding out those people who not there for you. It's time to start weeding them out. They weren't there for you anyway. They wanted just to ride you like a pony show. Okay? They wasn't there for you to receive. They ain't even got no feed for you at the end of all this toiling you've been doing. Okay? And you so kind, you just let them ride because it's not about nothing. Okay? You can lift thousands of pounds. They little petty couple 100 pounds ain't about nothing to you. But it is. After a while, when you realize When you look to your left and you look to your right and community isn't there, you realize what matters to you, which is community. All of us are seeking the same thing, to rebuild the families, okay, that we always had, okay, to make our beginning family stronger. Some people are going out there to find new families. I want us to understand that no, that is not the case. Some of us are looking for new family members to help us add to our family that we already have. We may disagree with them at certain points in time, but they still are family. So I want you to understand that as well, Taurus. Your community already there. It started with your family. Revisit them so you can understand why you are on the outside doing what you are doing, why you had to meet new allies, why you had to make new assets that we ain't gonna call them friends, why you had to meet new people. It wasn't so you can start a new family. It was so that you can add more limbs to the family that you already have. Can I get a witness? Okay. And this leads us on to the Gemini. Okay. Now, the Gemini is going through disruptions. If you are Gemini and you are experiencing my voice in my face right now, and listen up clear. The Gemini's experiencing the full moon, okay, should also be experiencing disruptions. Okay, disruptions within a life, within a social life, within a career life. Okay, these disruptions is because they are also revisiting who they are. They are also revisiting, okay, purpose in how they have navigated their energy through the life that they already lived. Okay, and at certain points of time in their life, they are known to be selfish in ways. Okay, and they are also known to be selfless in ways. So a lot of times, this chaos has not created balance. Sometimes they question if they being selfish. Okay? Sometimes they question if they being selfless. Okay? And all this questioning, they expected to receive the answers from those around them. They expected people to tell them that was enough. Okay? They expected people to call them and tell them to come on home. You've been out shaking the tail, fella. Okay? For the last few months of Sundays, come on in home. Okay? Because a lot of times, the life that they sought out was because of the life they thought they didn't have. So they revisited us. Okay? They're feeling disruptive in the inside. Okay? And a lot of times they've been the disruption. The disruption. A lot of times they've been the disruption. Those of us that are Geminis. A lot of times this selfless attitude, this selfish attitude, okay, was the disruptions, okay, and has caused destruction within our social relationships, within our families, and sometimes within our households. So it's okay to feel these disruptions now, because you should be disrupted before you keep going the same way, like a little Energizer bunny. Okay? So this disruption in your social life, okay, is also causing a disruption in your career. Yeah, because a lot of times we may do the same thing for so long and never questioning what we doing or why we doing or the reason we doing it and the end result. Okay, we never take time to look at the results, because sometimes it be too late. You been retiring. Okay, before you looked at, why have I been working this particular place for so long? Why have I even been with these particular people for so long? Why have I delivered so much of my energy with a small return of it back? Okay, that disruption. So it's beginning in you. You're questioning everything. And keep questioning. You're going to be led to some answers. And when you lost, I'll be here. Okay, and this leads to our Cancers. And when all this questioning going on, we got to get to the Cancers. If you are a Cancer experiencing a blood moon, you should understand that there will be a great awakening, okay, that is peaking and or finalizing itself within you. Okay, the Cancers have been awakening for a little while now. Okay, this has been a month by month process, okay, that you've been experiencing for the last year over, and sometimes 2 years for some of you. Okay, but I want us to understand this awakening is coming to a peak. This awakening is becoming a breaking point. Okay, as we come to a point of no return, and that point of no return was the fact that We are accepting that we had to get out our comfort zone. Some of them people that you are around are in your comfort zone. Some of them are even your loved ones in your comfort zone. Some of these energies are within your comfort zone. And people that like you comfortable, not always the best people for you. Especially if you've been aspiring to be something different. Especially if you've been, working to be something greater. You don't need to be in that comfort zone, do you? Some of y'all have been in the comfort zone so long, you starting to smell like you don't belong. You have spiritual decay on your body. You've been in the same environment for far too long and you don't belong there. Okay? Some of those people that are around you in this particular moment, they don't belong around you. They spiritual decay. They should have been the skin that you shed at the last level. Okay? They belong to your last exoskeleton. You were supposed to shed this skin. That crab was supposed to step up out of that skin. Okay? Shed them last shells and walk into a new life. Okay? That was woven for you by your own imagination. So we need to step out of our comfort zone. And we've already been going through this awakening process that's been happening with us for a few months or a few years. Okay? And it's coming to a peak or a finalizing place. Okay, well, we at a point of no return because you can't forget the new things that you learned, can you? Okay, you can't forget the new things that you learned about yourself, and you can't forget the new things that you learned about those people that have been looking at you, seeing that you trying to climb out. Okay, you've been trying to climb out. That picture, like that picture behind me. You've been trying to climb out, but instead they wanted to keep you comfortable. Okay, and no, it's not their fault. It's your fault. Okay, because it's sometimes comfortable not trying hard. It's real comfortable, actually. Nevertheless, this leads us on to our Leos. How you doing, Leos? How y'all doing? Yeah, y'all should be in a releasing and a surrendering point. If you a Leo and you're experiencing the full blood moon, okay, then you should be in a releasing and a surrendering place. You should be releasing a lot of energies. You should be releasing a lot of toxic relationships, a lot of trauma bonds, and a lot of energy from these toxic relationships, from these trauma bonds. You should be releasing debts. Yeah, and I don't just mean monetary debts, I also mean social debts. A lot of times you feel in debt to people. Feel like you owe people. Okay? And this is all leading to attachments. Okay? You should be releasing these attachments. See, you have attachment issues. You have attached yourself to a lot of different things. You even attach yourself to this fixated idea of love that for the most part only you experience. Meaning the people that you come around, they don't experience the same type of love that you experience. And a lot of times it works in reverse as well. Meaning a lot of times you are the person that likes to be gifted. You are the person that you like for people to be attached for you as well. What's good for the gander is good for the goose. The language that you give out is also the language that you receive. And it's also the language unto your demise. It don't lead to a victory. Okay? You're learning this slowly. Okay? You're feeling the peaks of this energy within you. Okay? And it's time to surrender. Time to surrender to the ultimate truth. It's time to surrender to your authentic self. It's time to surrender. Okay? And as you surrender, you're going to realize a weight is being lifted off of you. As you surrender, okay, to the messages and the reminders, okay, that you're receiving from the messengers that life has sent to you, you're going to feel lighter. You're going to feel loved, okay? And not just someone's attachment. Okay, not just someone attached to this fixed idea of you. A lot of y'all beautiful people, and a lot of people are attached to this fixed version of you. A lot of you, okay, came with a lot of different skills, attributes, and abilities, and a lot of people are attached to this fixed version of you. It's time to shed that. It's time to surrender, okay, to the real wisdom that's coming to you, and get away from these toxic dynamics. And this leads to our Virgos. Okay? The Virgos should be confronting underlying truths about their closest relationships. They should also be coming to certain grand epiphanies about themselves. Okay? They should be learning that in accepting myself okay, has caused us to also, or the lack of accepting ourselves has caused us not to accept the truth. And that has led to us being the person that you can lie to. A lot of times, the Virgo is the person that you can lie to. You don't even feel wrong about lying to the Virgo. Listen, if you are a Virgo and you are experiencing the blood moon in this moment, then you should know that you are indeed the person that they're lying to, because you're the person that lied to you. And if you've been lying to you, they finna lie to you. Okay? That's what they all keeping away from you. They finna lie to you. Okay? So it's time to confront some underlying truths about our closest relationships. And the closest relationship you have is with yourself. Have you been lying to yourself? Have you been lying to yourself? Keeping yourself in a fixed mindset, knowing that the mindset continuously needs to evolve? It needs to evolve. Okay? As we accept the continuity of evolution, the mindset needs to evolve alongside the spirit set. Has this spirit set, okay, been set and stuck in its ways for far too long? Okay, I want you to understand that people are maneuvering around these stuck in your ways type of mentalities. Okay, this fixed type of mentality. Okay, and your closest relationships may not be exactly what you want them to be. Okay, they may sometimes be what you need them to be. So this also means we need to lean our ears towards the truth that we are already receiving. See, a lot of times you may not like what people are saying, even if they're not saying it out of their mouths. A lot of times you may not like what people are saying on a spiritual level, on the emotional level, okay, on a subconscious or subliminal level through actions, okay, and reactions. A lot of times you may not like what you are receiving, but I want you to understand you could exactly be receiving what you needed to receive. Okay, you're most often, okay, hearing people tell you a certain type of truth, okay, that it would take for you to pay attention. It would take for you to listen, okay, and sometimes stop talking and listen and receive. Okay, so yes, we are confronting some underlying truths. Okay? We are confronting some underlying truths about ourselves, those of us that's Virgos. Okay? So nevertheless, those of us that are experiencing this blood moon, okay, I want you to scroll past, scroll back, see where I have said something that spoke directly to you. Okay? You make sure you timestamp it, you remember it. You make sure you subscribe and let that be the reason you subscribe. You make sure you go into gratitude and thank the universe for sending you the message and the messenger that did, because it sent me ready for you. Okay? And you make sure you share this with somebody else that may need it. Use this information to know best the people that are around you, your co-workers, okay, your superiors, okay, even the people you're coming across in your neighborhood, your community. Okay, the people that are your cashiers, the bartenders, everybody. Okay? And nevertheless, let's get rich. Mentally, spiritually, and physically, that is. Oh, and make sure you get out there and hug a tree. And until next time, you're invited, okay, on a whirlwind adventure of us enriching the minds, bodies, and spirits of those of us that are here to walk in purpose and allow our purpose, okay, to create a more meaningful and fulfilling life for all of us, all sentient beings. You're invited. Until then, and until the next episode, let's get rich.